any rubber band has a point of breaking. And if you keep pulling on, at some point, you're going to reach that point. So it's not the fault of the rubber band. It's how much it's being stretched. So if you're being stretched beyond your capacity, you are going to break. And the only way to do anything about that is to increase your capacity. The only way to increase your capacity is being good and kind to yourself and dealing with all the shit that is hollowing out or making that rubber band being non-elastic. So all the traumas that we have, the more of them we can clear out, and the more we can find our way into ourselves and into resting in God or whatever you want to call it, the more capacity you have. And then when you are being tested, well, then maybe you won't reach your end, or you will be able to find solutions, or solutions will be able to find you.
I'm so honored to be interviewing Mjolnir and Katrine, who are out exploring the world and asking the big question, whose life is it anyway? And they're here to help you make decisions that make you whole and free. So welcome to your own show, Mjolnir and Katrine.
Thank you.
So I just want to say that these two people are making an amazing journey into the world, and I am so honored and thrilled to know them. I've worked with them for about 6 months, and they're amazing. And I'm in shock and in awe, and I'm just I'm in a lack of words for what you're doing out in the world and what you're jumping into, and the way you are just taking ownership of your life. And it's amazing, and it's an honor and a privilege to interview you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have tons of questions, and let's start with whose life is it anyway? Like, what made you make this interview series and make this radical change in your life that you may want to share with the listeners if they don't know it yet, what you're actually doing out in the world right now?
Well, as everybody out there listening knows, that it's been a crazy couple of years.
Quite a few years.
Oh yeah, for us, and maybe for many others. So I think the question, whose life is it anyway, is a question that most people ask themselves right now after these 2 years in Crazy Town, because we're getting a lot of pressure from everywhere, actually, to make decisions, to make big decisions for your own life and for your family's life. And everybody is pressuring you to make the decisions that they think are the right ones. But if you don't feel it, do you have to make those decisions, or can you choose by yourself? So I think a lot of people are asking themselves that question. Is it my decision? Is it my life? Or is it society's life? Is it the government's life? Is it the life of God? Is it the life of Christ? Is it the life of my heart? This machine, the body? The microbiomes in your intestines? Who is deciding? Who is making the decisions in your life?
Yeah, it's a process of becoming aware of all the many factors that are at play here, because as she said, there's so many things going on, and it's also an awakening process, because like we had our biggest moment in 2012 when we got our daughter and all that jazz. It's a long and heartbreaking story, but it was both the worst thing that happened for us, but also the best. Like, we couldn't be here where we are now if we hadn't gone through that long, arduous process of being broken down and fighting and finding other ways and all these things to come to this place now. And the more we become aware, and the less we go into battle and fight mode and come into our hearts and discover our own values and live accordingly, the more avenues seem to open up. So right now we are in an undisclosed place in Tuscany, and we we were guided here. Like, we can't say more than that, that we were guided here. And it seems when we look back at everything we've been through, we've been guided all the way.
And we've been kicking and screaming all the way.
We've been dragged by a hair, but guided, you know, like,
Tell the viewers a bit about that process, because you uprooted your entire life.
yeah.
Yeah.
They made a crazy decision to just don't look back. Leave your front door, leave it behind, leave Denmark behind, just go out into the world.
Yeah, because when we got our daughter, we put our lives in the hands of the
System.
system.
And to the
But-
viewers who don't know, just give a quick recap about your daughter.
Okay, she's missing half her brain. She was born in 2012. Large parts of her brain are missing, and what is there is underdeveloped.
Okay.
So mentally right now, she's more like a 3-4-year-old, though she's 9 years old. And the first 5.5 years of her life, she had night terrors every night, kicking, biting, screaming, lashing out. And when we reached out for help to the system, it was not there. We actually had to fight the system for the help that we were promised would be there. And we've met a lot of other people that have had the exact same experience. So not only did we have to marshal a lot of resources for the sake of our daughter to take care of her, and we have a son as well, and at the same time, we had to use extra resources to fight the system, to get just a little bit of help. And that made us break down. And what turned everything around for us was, instead of like going for the external things, was going inside, finding our own center and values. Like,
Yeah.
we've been pushed into ourselves. And that's the only place where any change could happen, where we could be happy, whole, and free, is in here.
Yeah.
But we've been taught through our whole life that it's out there, it's the experts, it's this person, it's that person, it's the system. You have to do this to get this, and it just isn't true. Like, you have to go inside.
Yeah.
It's been a very hard, very painful process for us.
Yeah. It hurt so much to be a part of the system. It hurt to ask for help. And when we did it, we were told that we didn't need help, that we were just weak and needed to pull ourselves together.
Literally, that's what they said.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like, one thing is like with the whole night terrors. So one thing in the Danish system, on paper, you are entitled to is something called aflastning, which is, that's a couple of days a month. Somebody will take care of your child so you can rest
And get some sleep.
And we, first of all, we didn't want that, because that felt like a big failure that we couldn't manage as parents. So we waited until we were completely, it's like, okay, we have to get help right now. And we had even found the family ourselves that wanted to take that role for a weekend, a month. And then the system said, okay, sure, let's look at it. And then it took 1.5 years before they qualified them to, they put them through a whole ringer about things that, and it wasn't in any way necessary. But for the system, it meant that they could postpone the whole thing for 1.5 years and save a little bit of money. And for us, it's like, if there had not been a system in place, we could have done all of that ourselves. And also, we know that there would have been people out there willing to take that on voluntarily. But because everybody believes there is a system in place to take care of this, nobody does it. Like, so we are all being isolated out there because we have believed that there is all these things in place that will take care of everything, so I can have a nice, comfortable life where I don't have to involve myself. Like this whole socialistic system. And it's
People who get the help, they're just not the ones that need it as bad as you guys. So I don't know what's at play.
Well,
So
I think people get some help, but
Yeah.
not the right help.
Yeah, and get some help, and it's also like it's a way for the system to prove that it's doing something. So
Yeah.
like say 1 out of 10 go to the system and get some help, or maybe even some get the help they need,
Yeah.
but 9 out of 10 don't.
And you get that kind of help that you get dependent on the system.
Yes.
That you need the system to survive. So you need to make that contract.
Yeah.
I know you know a lot of contract. You need to say yes to the system. So you become a part of it to get
dependent on it.
little help to survive.
Yeah, so you become subservient. You become subservient to the system, and it's all about becoming sovereign, coming back to yourself, finding that you have all these things within you, and then you start. When you're in there, you can start making the right connections outside as well.
And it's for us, it's been a constant battle for 8-9 years. And it hurts so much to be let down by the ones who are supposed to help you.
Guardians, the safekeepers, the caretakers.
And we came to the place where we were like forced to ask ourselves, what do we want? What kind of life do we want, and how do we get there?
And what is your life like now? Is it easier? You're on the road. One could think that would be more challenging with a handicapped daughter and another son.
Well, I want to. It's kind of the same, but the battle is not there anymore. Yeah. So now we can focus on our own stuff, our own battles within the family.
Yeah.
But the external battle is disappearing.
Nice.
And instead of us having to fight and use all those resources on fighting, we're actually in a place now where we can help. So we can put up this thing, like we've been enabled to put up this whole summit. We have the resources, the spare time, the leeway, whatever you want to call it, to actually sit down and find these people, interview them, and
at the same time we're helping this old man who owns this place.
Yeah, we're volunteering here.
Yeah, with working in his garden and walking his dog and so on.
Yeah, and we've been volunteering away through Europe. And
it's just amazing to be at service for other people now, because we haven't been able to do that. And every person on this planet, every human being on this planet, not a person, is oh yeah, want to be at service for others.
Yeah.
Right? Because we cannot help it. Yeah. This is what we want. This is what we're here to do. And now we can actually do it. And it's such a pleasure.
And then when we're talking about whose life is it anyway, that's also one of the points. It's like a life of what? A life of service, a life of love. What is it? And it just, we've been working our way through Europe as volunteers through something called Workaway, where and we've been having all these wonderful experiences, being led into different families where we could well, I've been working doing carpentry stuff and helping Polish farmer put up a barn, and now
I've been milking goats with my daughter.
And now we're here, and I'm gonna do. I've been doing a lot of stuff here at the same time as this, and it's just, and it's all from like letting go of that and not like being dependent on the system, and then suddenly solutions present themselves. Suddenly these magical moments happen where we suddenly get to be on a mountainside in Tuscany, and right now we have this very bright rainbow outside the window while we're sitting here being interviewed, and the guy who we're being hosted by, he lives in this medieval tower, and it's just amazing, you know. It's really wonderful.
You're so amazing. I know nobody who's embarked upon the journey that you have and what you've gone through, living in 10 square meters and no electricity, no water. It's wow. I just It's amazing. You guys, you're doing the most amazing godly work I've known for. I hear a lot of stories, but your story is just profound and wild. And I just have to say, you guys, you deserve so much, and you have so much. Time is circular, but you've been through so much, and you're still positive, and you're giving, and you're godly, and you got the spirit, right? But you have to tell the story of how tough it was, and that has to be told also. And I just think you're doing an amazing job. And the way I would never have dared, I think, to do what you did. How old is your son, by the way?
He is turning 14 next week.
14. And daughter is 9, but mentally 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And so
And we brought a cat too.
And you brought your cat too. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're traveling around in a camper van.
Yeah.
And just wow, amazing. And so what are the kids doing right now? What are their days like? How are they doing?
Well, our son, he is taking care of our host cats and dog. Yeah, and yeah, so we're walking the dog up and down the mountain.
Mm.
And yeah, luckily there's stable internet here, so he can play video games and chat with his friends back in Denmark. And they're coming to visit him.
Amazing.
Yeah, for his birthday.
For his birthday.
But also, like, what he's doing is recuperating from all the crap we've been through. Like, because we all suffer from PTSD. All the 4 of us, probably the cat too, because of the insanity we've been put through. So we're not finished. Like, we're not a finished work. We are still on our way. Our memories are both shot to pieces, and like it'll take some years still before we are at full capacity. But we are in a place right now where we have a surplus of energy most days, at least, and then something will hit, or a daughter has a fit, or something in the world touches us in a way that just brings us out. But it's like every day it becomes faster and faster. Like several of the interviews we've talked about this is like something that would bring us out of ourselves for days earlier. Now it just takes like a couple of hours or something. Oh, that's one thing I want to do. Like, people who are sitting here, we are all, no matter who you are, we are all much more traumatized by the system, by what has been like generational trauma and stuff like that. So we easily get triggered in many ways, and that's something that we have to heal. So when we're sitting and talking with somebody, it's a very, very good idea to meet them with a calm nervous system. And that's like meeting people in love and in that. So one of the fastest ways you can do that is to get your vagal nerve to relax. And there's a very, very easy trick to do that. So if you look out, so keep your nose straight, and then look out your right eye for 30 seconds, all the way at the very edge of your vision. And then, already now I get it, I start yawning. And that's a sign of the vagal nerve starting to relax. So you're switching over to your parasympathetic nervous system that way. Take your eyes over to the left. All the way, keep your nose in place.
Challenge.
Yeah, it's challenging. And then you might start to yawn again. At least I will.
Okay.
All right, and just look straight ahead.
Whoa.
Yeah. So just come back. Can you feel any difference?
I feel dizzy.
Yeah.
And the plant is moving. I don't know if it always did that. A little bit.
Yeah. But like every time that we meet something that triggers us, that is one of the fastest ways to come back. And that's like some of the practical things that we teach is just like little bits like that. And then we have all these discovery tools, like about where all your all your shit is buried. And
I have a lot of that.
but we all do, and we
Triggers
all
like,
need somebody to help us.
Yeah, because
Uh,
otherwise we are opening the door to the attic with all the crap in it, and we just
and then we close it
again.
again.
yeah.
So we need something to say, okay, now we're opening, we're looking into this little box today.
Okay. Today
cleaning it.
we're taking that
Yeah.
box.
That poop box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're getting out again, I promise, and shut the door. So tomorrow we're doing the next box.
One box at a time, you could
Yeah.
say.
One box at a time, and like put it out in steps. So, and like you say, stay in the step you're in, like just doing one thing, and magical things will happen also on a physical level when you start. If you do a physical clean out as well.
Oh
like,
yeah, you have lost.
I have lost so
So-
much weight after we cleaned out our house, sold it, gave away things, and
We only have 3 pallets left of our stuff.
a bicycle.
And a bicycle. Yeah. And
And I've been
Right.
dropping so much physical weight from my body on this, and it's been like something that's been stuck for years and
Yeah.
years. And the only thing, well, of course, many things have changed, but like I still have the eating habits that I used to have. The only thing is that we cleaned out. That's the only explanation.
yeah, I
that
think
have.
it's like 10.
It's 10 kilos now, I think.
Yeah.
It really helps.
In
Thanks.
2 months.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
You have so much to offer and to give to the world and to people, and I'd love to dive into your work. I get triggered with my kid, my son, and I hate that feeling. And there's just nothing worse, and you feel like totally powerless. And yeah, so there are many steps to sovereignty, but you took the biggest one of anyone that I know. So I know a lot of sovereign people in Denmark or want to be sovereigns, but you guys, you just did the work. You just left your house and you did it. And you uprooted everything, and it must have been the most frightening experience. But the biggest experiences have to be the most frightening.
Yeah, I mean, we just felt that now was the time, like with all the craziness going on, and we just felt we had to move for the sake of ourselves and our family, and the world. We couldn't stay in place anymore.
Amazing.
No, and
amazing.
I insist on having a fulfilling life,
Mhm.
because I've been like super mom for the past 9 years, and now it's time for me to
You're superwoman.
to be my own, right? And because I wanted to be able to travel, because I love to travel, and it hasn't been possible with a daughter earlier, but now she's so much better, so she can actually be in the car more than 1 hour, which was maximum just a few years back.
Yeah, she would like go into a complete screaming fit for the rest of the day and night if we drove more than an hour away. And now we've been driving all the way through here.
So a camper van was the best solution for us, because it's the same house on wheel, it's the same bed, it's her own blanket, it's her own teddies and her own toothbrush, and everything's the same. So I can go see the world and I don't have to choose between my 2 children anymore, because I used to do that, right? I needed to do that. Just go travel with our son, which was nice, and he needed that and I needed that. But to choose between your children, that's not fun.
No, it's not. You always leave one.
And she's aware of that, because we don't know how much is she actually aware of, because with the brain thing, but she's aware of that. When we went to Budapest, because we went there with our son some years back, she recognized it from the videos that I made for her on my phone.
Mhm.
So when we were in Budapest, she said, I was not here. I was at the other place. I stayed back home. Only mom and dad and
that hurts.
my older brother. So now she had that experience to be there with us,
Yeah,
being
that we're all
a part of the
family.
family.
Perfect.
And it's just perfect. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just thinking, I just want to make sure everybody knows that you have absolutely no security net anymore. You have just
Not at
up
all.
everything. You have really just given your, grace to God and inshallah. And
Yeah.
that is very, very rare in Denmark. It might be normal in parts of the world, but in Denmark, it's very, very, very unseen,
Yeah.
unheard of. And it's,
Yeah.
I applaud you so much.
Thank you. It's scary, but it's also
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I teach, but I've just never done it the way you've done it or seen anybody do it. It's exactly like jump in, someone you were meant to be will catch you. It's my favorite quote of this song. And I get goosebumps. Like you stand there on the cliff and into the unknown and you take that jump. And I think I've done it 2 times in my life. And it's basically just been a conversation that I was scared of. And you just, someone you were meant to be will catch you. It's complete faith. It's complete surrender. And that's why
Yeah.
I know you guys are you're going to change the world, because you are like the forefront of anyone that I know in the work, not in the work that you do yet, but more in the life that you're living, the work, the way you're actually living. So,
Yeah,
wow.
and we have been caught all the way. Like we can't say it's been easy along the way, but like things have just popped up to catch us. And even though no, this system is still trying to like put its hooks into us.
Where are you? Where are you at? What's your
Yeah.
CPR number? What's your
Yeah.
Doesn't like it at all.
No. And it becomes that's one of the funny things is it becomes extremely obvious, like when we're outside the borders of Denmark, it becomes very, very obvious what the system is. And I mean,
doing to us?
It's super dark.
it's super dark and it's super like it's
Worst.
everything that's put in place, we're told to help us, it's put in place to traumatize us. And then you can be controlled. Like when you have fears and trauma, there's the entry points for all the hooks. And it's so obvious, like with everything that's going on right now, how it's being ruled by fear. And
Yeah.
so how do we
And-
want to help people get out of
Yeah.
that state, because it's a very low state of energy and awareness. And I mean, we're not completely free of it, but
You're outside of it. You can look
we're
at
outside of it right now.
And there's a lot of really nice people working for the system, but that doesn't mean like it doesn't make a change.
no, it's the
No.
system is larger than the people, and it's a mechanism. It's like an
It's still a
ego.
For
system.
now.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
now.
now it's the
But
greatest.
it's
advantage.
dissolving.
Yeah.
It's dissolving, and it's a very interesting process.
We're at an interesting time, generally, all of us, but you guys are in a really, really interesting place. And I can't wait to see you like bathing in the wealth that you deserve and in the riches,
be
whatever
really
way
nice.
they come, like a swimming pool full of money, whatever it is. So,
That's not our aim, though. Our aim is just to have this nice little place with some animals and some friends, and where
Off-grid place.
off-grid place where our
somewhere.
daughter has a meaningful life, taking care of a B&B. And I mean, we
full of
don't.
friends.
If somebody backs up here with a truck full of money in 2 minutes, I'm not going to say no, but that's not what we're here for. We're
Of
here
course.
to have a meaningful life in our own way, and help others do the same.
And still,
Be
money is a mechanism that makes you serve more people and be able, so we all need it.
We
And
still have a lot to learn about money.
we all do. And even if you focused on it your entire life, you have lessons to learn about that too. So we all have different places. But money does help you guys to do what you're meant to do in the world. So
Yeah.
asking for it, of course, can be an issue for people. But I've just heard before we turned on the interview that you're actually have created a donation button to start receiving money. And I think that's a brilliant idea, because I know a lot of people will want to do that. And the fact that it's optional and you're learning to receive and to learn more about your journey and to follow you. And of course you can't, we all need help, and money is just a medium of help and receiving energy and love. So I hope the ones watching out there.
Thank you for trying to teach us that.
Well, we just interviewed Charles Eisenstein, and he's all about gift economy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that concept too. Yeah.
receiving in order to giving, and yeah, and letting go and giving and receiving. And you guys definitely are just worthy of receiving so much love, money, client energy, and network. And to me, clients, it's my biggest love relationship, deeper than my family, sad to say. And so when we do this kind of work that's in this territory of just outside of the box, it's different. Client relationships are different.
Yeah.
So,
but we love our clients. That's
Yeah.
we still talk about clients we had years back,
Yeah.
and write to them once in a while. So how is it now? Are you doing well?
Yeah.
so tell me now, you're launching an online program.
Yeah.
With Whose Life Is It Anyway? How to make decisions that make you
Feel whole and free.
Yeah.
whole and free. So tell us a little bit more about that, because that is important.
Well, it's not ironclad because we're still mainly working on this thing, but it'll be a 12-month program where we take people through different discovery program tools to, like, as you say, open a box at a time and then clean that out and then move on to the next step. There will be Zoom calls where we can help people with what stuff that they have at the moment. I think we haven't decided on the schedule of that, but
You don't need to talk about the schedule. I just want to let people know that I know you for a fact. You've been helping people physically, like one-on-one. You have so many gifts. You can do something with your hands. I saw Milna once touch a horse, and I was just like, wow, it's like Jesus at work. There's something going on. So
That's
I
fun.
know both of you have so many gifts, like concretely, that you've already worked with, and then you're in this whole new space. So you have something extra to offer because you're walking the walk. Nobody on earth that I know of have done what you've
well,
done.
it's come from all the stuff we've been through, like all the discovery processes we've done ourselves. Like we know how to dive into all these dark areas and then bring light to them and help people heal themselves from in, because it's not like we can't do anything for 2 people, but we can do things for people, but they have to step into it. Just like we had to accept the help from that we got from the outside, like when Katrine met a woman called Rikke Klint. But you have to apply the knowledge, but that takes time. And just like you're coaching me, it's like I'm not moving in the areas where I'm not applying the knowledge that you give me. So we are going to take people through step by step some processes of discovery and healing some traumas.
Holding people's hands while they're doing it, because we need each other, and we need each other to mirror the stuff that we can't see. I cannot massage my own back. I cannot see if I have like a mole or a tick or whatever, and that's where he comes in. Right? He needs to because there's places I cannot reach or see myself, and that's what we're doing for other people.
Yeah.
What happened when you met this Rikke person? Sorry to jump.
I didn't hear what you're saying.
What happened, Katrine, when you met this woman called Rikke? Did you learn to receive, or what was the story?
She had been through a similar thing like me with a daughter with challenges, and she had been the super mom and broke herself completely down, wore herself out. And then she discovered that the only way up was self-care and self-love. And that's what she was teaching. And so, I took a course with her, like a year. It took a year.
And it was at a point where we had, that was when were we living in the shed at that point? No, but that was right before. And we had, like, Katrine had no income, and I could barely work. And she's like, can I do this? And I just wanted my wife back, because she had completely disappeared. Like, she was a complete shell of herself, just spending all her energy on our daughter. And I was like, yes, please do it. Yeah. And that really was what turned it all around.
Yeah.
Her starting to take care of herself.
And it sounds so simple and so easy with just self-care and self-love.
was
But
not.
we have been through generations where we're taught that it is so selfish and not the way to go.
And you guys also had the Self-Care Academy, right?
Yeah.
Is that still part of? So I just wanted to for the listeners to know and hone in on what you really offer. So a lot of self-care, a lot of freedom choices, that thinking totally out of the box, and
Yes.
just showing what's possible out there,
Mm.
and really having gone through it. So if you're out there and you feel like you've been a super mom, you don't recognize yourself, you're not a wife anymore, you guys know exactly how that is and can help.
Or if you're a husband to or a partner who feel like you've lost your wife or even husband, but it's usually the women who do like this self-sacrifice thing in this way, then direct your woman to
Sorry.
it.
Reach out, direct your woman. That does not sound like anything we're allowed to say anymore.
Send her
Self-care
here. We'll take
With
care of
love.
her. Yeah.
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 So you made some pivotal leadership decisions, like I choose to do a self-care course when I have no money, and you said yes, that's leadership. That's how you twist your life around, right? Without
Yeah.
into the unknown. So you make the decision, money and whatever will follow afterwards.
Yes.
So don't sit and wait till you have the money or till you jump into it and the world will follow after. That's a great
Yeah.
example of that. So you
And the
might
same thing with it. Yeah.
Yeah. My life and our life as a family was more important than anything else.
exactly, and that's what you show when you make that decision. Great leadership, great decision.
I couldn't do it by my own. I needed a mirror. I needed someone to hold my hand, and she did that.
And you've even shared, I think more than once, you were contemplating suicide.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there because there might be listeners in the same situation and something that people want to talk about, but it's very real and it's been real for you. Do you want to just
Very real. Yeah.
talk a little bit into that? If there's somebody out there who having the same thoughts, it's very important to share open and honest about that.
Yeah. Our daughter, she screamed a lot. She still does, but it's not in the same way as before. She screamed night and day. And you know that the scream of children is used as a torture and the lack of sleep. So I had that every day and every night. And at one day she was doing that. And I was just opening the window. We were living on the top floor. I was opening the window and stepping out on the roof and thought, maybe this is the solution because I cannot take this screaming anymore. I don't know what to do. I couldn't help her. I couldn't help myself. I could see my husband and my son suffering, and I was suffering, and everyone was suffering. And I thought, maybe this is the solution, that I just disappear. Maybe I am the problem. But I didn't have the guts to do it. I couldn't even kill myself. How bad was I?
Oh my God. You really thought you were the problem, not the screaming? Like you weren't
Yeah,
screaming.
maybe that I was the problem. Maybe I was just too weak and too
So
bad
that's
of a week.
story.
And that was not a one-off, that like similar things
Yeah,
happened.
and I ran off. I ran away from home in my pajamas and bare feet. I just ran across town.
Wow.
And
love that
I've
you're
done
sharing.
something similar also, because it's just been it's been extremely hard.
Those stories are really important. How we interpret, maybe I'm too weak.
Yeah,
That's really important for anyone listening. And thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's really, really important. Suicide is just something that nobody wants to talk about, but it's very real and we have to be able to talk about it. So
Everybody has their breaking point. Like everyone has a capacity, and when you reach the end of that capacity, then you're going to break. That it's just like a rubber band, like point of breaking. And if you keep pulling on, at some point you're going to reach that point. So it's not the fault of the rubber band. It's how much it's being stretched. So if you're being stretched beyond your capacity, you are going to break. And the only way to do anything about that is to increase your capacity. The only way to increase your capacity is being good and kind to yourself and dealing with all the shit that is hollowing out or making that rubber band being non-elastic. So all the traumas that we have, the more of them we can clear out, and the more we can find our way into ourselves and into resting in God or whatever you want to call it, the more capacity you have. And then when you are being tested, well, then maybe you won't reach your end, or you will be able to find solutions, or solutions will be able to find you. That has been our experience. And
and choose your battles. Is that this battle, is it worth fighting anymore? Can I just let it go?
yeah,
But also just you guys being honest here, I think it's really important and it's so powerful. Just sharing what's going on inside of you, sharing honestly about standing on a rooftop or running away in your pajamas and actually thinking maybe I'm too weak. That really hit me. Like, so when you open up and share, you're helping so many people. So please, please keep sharing that story. Go into the moment, remember them, because there are other people out there who feel the same and they feel all alone, and we're not alone. We're all the same human beings with the same
we're all
thoughts.
the same,
and
and we're
insecurity.
all connected.
Mhm. And
And
that's really what brings us together, is when we dare to open up and share
Yeah.
honestly. So thank you so much. I can't wait to get to know you more, even more, and see your new way of being out in the world and
well, you have a
receive.
new car now. You can come down here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it. I really was.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Tuscany. Bring my passport that I don't want to use because it makes me into a subject and a person, a legal entity, but I'll bring it
Bring the
anyway.
other one. See what happens.
You're probably not gonna have to show it at any point if you just go straight.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I actually was thinking about it, so I might do it. And
Yeah.
I haven't, you're the only ones that I haven't met in real life yet and hugged and touched.
Oh, we're
all
in for a
right.
treat.
So the viewers may not know this, but I'm a business coach to Myrna and Katrine, and I am honored to serve them. And I'm just, rooting for you. And I'm just, you're the best. You really are. And you deserve so much success and so much of all the network and all the freedom and all the people around you to receive, because what you've gone through is like, I don't even contemplate it logically. I hear it, but I don't really understand it fully because,
Because
tried
you
stuff
can't.
that-
Yeah.
I've like been pregnant in in half of a colony, which is maybe 15 square meters, and the other part of the floor was up and there was dirt and I had a neep in my eye, and I've tried some stuff, but nothing, nothing in that sense. But everything happens for a reason, and you've made such an empowering choice. And it's an honor. And anyone watching out there, reach out. Myrna and Katrine are amazing people. They're such givers, and
We're gonna catch you.
they're gonna touch you, but they are gonna be harder to get a hold of, as their capacity for taking in clients will increase. So right now they're there, open arms. Use this opportunity to grab a hold of all the love and care that they have. It's gonna still be out there, but we can only serve so many people, and I'm sure it's gonna fill up. And I'm honored to be there helping you to increase that capacity and hire the help that you need. And so take advantage of this. This is really unique point in time for them and for you to get in contact with them. So use that opportunity, definitely. Because I am their business coach, and they're not going to be working from just their heart forever. But we all start somewhere, and giving is receiving, and this work that you guys are doing. I can't wait to see it evolve. And just anything you want to say to the people watching, so who have landed, because they also wondering whose life is it anyway.
Yeah, just ask yourself the question, whose life is it anyway?
And know if you can't feel it, that you are loved by whatever you want to call the non-local consciousness, and by us, and you're right as you are. You're meant to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning in, and thank you for allowing me to interview you. Look forward to an amazing show. I believe this is the first interview. We have many episodes to come.
Yep.
No, we have interviewed a lot already, and it's been.
Oh yeah,
really-
but in this.
Oh yeah, we are already lining up for the next round and a
Yeah.
round table and so much more.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
So the listeners out there, this is the first interview. So hold on, grab your popcorn and your stuff and get ready to rock the world with the rest of the interviews that are coming on
Yeah,
online.
they'll
So
be arriving soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.